What self-care is all about is teaching the community to eat in a way that fuels our minds and bodies to success while taking the focus off of weight and appearance. And with that, I talk a lot about all of the aspects of wellness because I think fueling ourselves to be successful is really about that well-rounded aspect of wellness, but I'm not necessarily an expert in all of those. My main field of expertise is nutrition. So I brought some people on with me this weekend to talk to you about some other aspects of wellness, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to our speaker for today. So she holds the title of Miss Greater Portland in Maine. Her platform and social impact initiative is End the Silence. Let's talk about suicide. Sorry. She's
You're
been
good.
studying martial arts for 18 years and has a black belt and won 4 world championships in 2017. She is currently studying business at Southern Maine Community College and is hoping to transfer to a larger university in the coming semesters. Throughout being a martial artist, she has learned the importance of positive self-talk. She is looking forward to sharing what she's learned with all of you. And our presenter today comes to you all the way from Maine. It is Nicole Steinhagen.
Thank you so much, Karolyn, for that awesome introduction. It's so awesome to be here. I'm super excited to be presenting with everybody today about the power of positive self-talk. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with everybody. All right. Let's get started. All right, so this is the power of positive self-talk. So before I really get started this morning, I want to tell you a little bit more about me. So I'm currently getting ready to compete for Miss Maine in June. As Karolyn just said, it'll be my second and unfortunately final time going for the crown before I age out. When I competed in 2019, I won talent with martial arts, and I seriously could not have been more excited. I've been practicing martial arts for 18 years, and I've competed in tournaments all throughout New England and won at least one grand championship in every single state. Before I competed in tournaments, I actually competed for Miss Maine's Outstanding Teen twice. That is actually where my journey with negative self-talk begins. The second time I competed for Miss Maine's Outstanding Teen, I pulled something in my hip the 1 week before competition while practicing my talent. While in talent rehearsals during the week of competition, the director of the pageant pulled me aside to talk about my talent. She asked me if there was anything that I could do to make my talent prettier and offered the suggestion of smiling while I was visualizing trying to rip somebody's head off. Now, I don't know if anybody here has ever seen a street fight or even a fight scene in a movie, but you typically do not smile, and that is physically impossible. I remember sitting there thinking my talent wasn't good enough or pretty enough to take the Miss Maine's Outstanding Teen crown. I had actually convinced myself that I didn't win the competition because I was a martial artist. And things that night only got worse. While running through my talent in front of an audience, which included my family, the pain in my hip was only getting worse. I actually had to stop midway and walk off the stage in tears. I remember walking into the hallway and being followed closely by my director and demanded a visit with my mom. After arguing with her for just a few minutes, she finally allowed me my visit. I remember as soon as I saw my mom, I immediately broke into tears and just told her about what the director had told me and how much pain I was actually in and that I couldn't do it. She somehow convinced me to keep going. And honest to God, I'm super excited that she did, because I know I would have regretted that decision for quite a long time. When I finally returned to Fournier's Karate in Portland, I had told the owner, Tony Fournier, what the director of the pageant had told me. And the next thing I knew, I was gearing up for tournaments. I had about a year to prepare and heal from my injury that I sustained from Miss Maine's Outstanding Teen. That weekend, I won my overall division, and I came in second in the overall grand championship. I was amazed at how amazing that I felt and how receptive everybody was to my talent. I had an even better outcome in my second tournament when I won my division and the overall grand championship. At the age of 16, I was approached by Joe Greenhall from the national karate team, Team Straight Up Kicking, and he asked me to come and train with a team. This is a huge deal. If you're asked to come train with a team, that means you're being scouted for a spot on the team. 5 months later, I was walking into a tournament with a famous purple uniform top that I had been working so hard to get. For a while, I was one of 3 women who were on the national team. And those 3 women happened to be from Maine. Fun fact, one of those women was my teammates, and all 3 of us had trained at Foreigners together. Through tournaments, I competed throughout the East Coast and in Mexico, won numerous divisions and grand championships, met some of the most amazing people, had the most incredible experiences, was inducted into the Hall of Fame twice for the Crane Circuit, and this list could really go on. But that never would have happened if the director of Miss Maine's Outstanding Teen didn't ask me to smile or to make my talent prettier. Now, before we go on, I just want to take a second.
Nicole, we're getting a little static in your mic. Do you have something over it, possibly?
Probably could have. All right, is that better?
Much better. Yep, thank you.
Perfect. I had my paper on it. Sorry. All right, so now I want you to think to yourself real quick before I move on, whether it's life experiences or talent practice, hard projects, or difficult moments in your life. Now, you can raise your hand if you would like, or just use this moment as self-reflection. But how many of you have told yourself, I can't do that. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I don't have the body. My voice isn't big enough. I'm not worth it. There's no use. People won't like me. Others are better than me. My opinion doesn't matter. This is too hard. Or what if I fail or make a mistake? I know as a matter of fact that I've told myself all of these at one point in my life. And I still catch myself thinking about these to myself for a moment. For humans, it's easier to look at the negative in situations than the positive. So, which is why I'm here. So the definition of negative self-talk is any inner dialogue that you have with yourself that may be limiting your ability to believe in yourself and your own abilities and to reach your full potential. Positive self-talk is obviously the opposite. It's the inner monologue that makes you feel good about yourself and everything that you're doing in your life. It's an optimistic voice in your head that encourages you to look at the bright side and pick yourself up when you fall and recognize when you fail. Our brains speak 600 words per minute to ourselves. If most of those words are negative, then we're going to be negative. However, if most of them are positive, then we're going to be positive. The key to self-confidence is positive self-talk. In order to be able to reach our goals in 2021, we need to be our biggest cheerleaders. Remember, the only person that is always guaranteed to be in your corner is you. One of the biggest keys to succeeding with positive self-talk is to realize you are worthy of everything. You are worthy of that title. You are worthy of the grades. You're worthy of the promotion. You're worthy of accomplishing every goal that you set your mind on. And this list could seriously go on all day. Think about this for a second. You have a better chance of winning the lottery than to be born. So without getting in depth on the topic, your birth is your worth. As we walk into this new year with new goals, we need to think about all the keys to success. So are you ready to really dive into how I combat negative self-talk? My 3 keys for converting negative self-talk into positive self-talk are with the 3 R's: recognize, reframe, and refocus. Step 1 is to recognize what you're telling yourself. You need to stop and think to yourself, is what I'm saying hurting me or helping me? You also need to ask yourself, what train of thought am I really on? I have a challenge for you. After this class, listen for the words can't, don't, not, no. The simple but negative words that we use every single day in our lives. Once you're able to recognize the negative thoughts from the positive thoughts, then you're able to flip that right around. Next, reframe your thoughts by taking your current situation and changing the frame. You can take a beautiful picture in an ugly frame, change that frame, and now it becomes something even more beautiful. The picture is you, and the picture frame is your self-talk. Change the can't to can, the don't to do, the no into yes. Now, I know that's not going to happen overnight, like changing a picture frame, but inch by inch is a cinch. Yard by yard is way too hard. So start by finding one negative self-talk per day and change it into a positive. Then try finding 2 pieces of negative self-talk, and then 3, and so on and so forth. This is called being a good finder, meaning taking those chances where you can improve your life by simply changing the bad into the good. I have a question for you. Do you know the 3 most powerful words in the human language? Are you ready to learn them? They are, yes, I can. Now I want you to take a second and say it to yourself. Say, yes, I can. And how does that make you feel? How powerful do you feel when you say those words? Goals can be incredibly hard to achieve. And just by reminding yourself that you can achieve those goals is the most powerful and positive thing that you can tell yourself. I want to take a second and share a quick story with you guys. When I was about 10 years old, my mom had a horrible fall while ice skating. She lost her footing, fell, and hit the back of her head, and suffered a severe concussion. She was taken to the hospital, and a scan of her head revealed a mass in her brain that was immediately identified as a benign gathering of fat, or a fatty tumor. They were not concerned because the scan had indicated that this would not pose an immediate threat. But if it wasn't discovered at the time, it would have caused neurological issues later in life, possibly quite severe. Because of the fall, the only long-lasting effect was the loss of her sense of smell. But what we did was we looked at the fact that they found the tumor in time and they were able to remove it. And my mom is still here today. So the last step is to refocus. This is the time where you really ask yourself the important questions. We get to select where our focus goes. So ask yourself, is what I'm telling myself really helping me to achieve my goals? If I was unsuccessful at this step in my goal, what can I do to change the outcome next time? And what is my why? Now, I want to take a second and I want to do a group activity with everybody. Whoops. And I wanted to take this chance and find the negative self-talk in our lives. So if everybody actually wants to unmute for a minute. And I want everybody to think about real quick, what do we tell ourselves in our everyday lives that could be negative? I know I've given you a ton of examples so far, but what are some that you could you possibly tell yourself every day.
And feel free to use the chat as well.
Yes. Here, I'm going to stop sharing real quick so I can pull up the chat.
Whitney says, I can't. Yeah.
That's a good one. Karolyn, how about you?
Yeah. Gosh, I just have one and I lost it. My brain. I'll get it. I'll give it to you in a second. Hold on.
Okay.
My brain just, I would say, like, maybe not necessarily an actual physical thing, but just like an actual phrase, but just comparison overall. I think that can be really harmful for us. Yeah. Jenna says, I'm not blank enough. So, really, anything in that regard. And Whitney says, I feel like I don't have the tools to do something. These are all really great, y'all.
These are fantastic. I know one of the ones that I really tell myself is my voice isn't big enough. I'm only one person. Do we have any more?
Any more? Those are all good ones, y'all. Those are all great.
Before we move on to the next one. Oh. But what if? Ooh, I love that one, Jenna.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to.
Yeah, I might fail. Whitney gave us that one.
Ooh, that is true. All right, I'm going to share my screen with everybody again to show you guys. This is the list that we've come up with so far. And it's incredible. It's honestly the stuff that I hear at work through Miss Main and through the karate school mostly. And you have to tell, I constantly find myself telling my kids, like, what if I didn't try that? Where would I be if I didn't try? All right. So you never know where you're going to end up. So I want us to move on to reframe. So we want to take the recognize and we want to turn that into the positivity that we all know that we have deep down inside of us. So, and I'm going to start off with, yes, I can, because that is my favorite thing to say. What else does everybody have?
I think like trying to compare ourselves, one thing I am always telling people in a lot of my presentations is when you think of one negative thing about you or something that you like about someone else, to always counteract that with two positive things about you or two positive things that you like about you, so that we're always counterbalancing and overcompensating the bad with the good.
Ooh, I love that.
So I don't know how to put that shortly for you, but
let's see.
Jenna says, I'm meant for this, and Whitney says, prove them wrong. Those are great ones.
Ooh, yes. Because you are. That's exactly.
Yeah.
Any other things? I know we have so many positive things out there.
I think like with I don't have the tools, What I always try to remind myself, especially as a person of faith, is that I have been given what I need for this moment, and I have been prepared, and I am made in a way that is preparing me for whatever comes my way. So Jenna says yes. Yeah, these
So
are
I'm going
really
to counteract with what if I fail? What if I succeed?
yeah. There's this really great quote. It's what if it doesn't I'll have to look it up. It ends with but what if it does? Let me look it up. Because it's a really good one. I don't want y'all to miss that. What if it doesn't come true? But what if it does? That is the quote. That's always a good one.
And then there's what if I do better than I expected?
There's a reason I'm here. So true. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I love that too. One of my
We were
favorite
talking about
quotes.
that.
Yeah, we're doing great on these ones, y'all. I always choose, people with my goals, and we talked about vision boards yesterday. I always choose a central word, a central quote, and a central Bible verse for the year. And my quote for this year is "Somebody has to win, so why not me?" And Kobe Bryant said that, and I just think that it's easy, especially in the nature of competition that we're in, to say, "Oh, well, only one person gets to walk home with a crown at the end of the day." But so my chances are small and the percentage is small, but we also all have the same percent chance of winning. And somebody has to be the next Miss Maine or the next Miss Arkansas. Someone has to do it. So there's no reason for you to say that it can't be you, because you're there, you're at the competition, you've won your local title, and you have the abilities and the capabilities to do that job. So just remembering that somebody has to do it. So there's no reason for it
Yes,
to not be you.
exactly. Why not? Like, come on. All right. Was there one more? Just saw something pop up in the chat.
Let's see, what do we have in the chat? We just have some clapping emojis and some emojis. You've got this. That's a great one too. Simple, sweet, to the point.
Yes. And then my other bubble just decided to disappear on me. All right. So we're going to change that real quick to make it look pretty. There we go. Promise I've used this before. All right. Now I want to take this chance, and I want us to think about our own goals that we have for the year. How are we going to take the positive self-talk and change that into what we're doing for our goals this year? There we go.
Goal setting and reflection. Yeah. So I guess, do you want us to take these phrases we have from like reframe and then reword them into being more specific about the goals that we have?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. List reasons why you can. Okay, so let's say like, yes, I can. Whitney, do you have a goal this year that you want to tell us? Yes, I can do XYZ. Am I on the right track with that? Okay, perfect. Perfect. Yes, okay. Can you type it for us? I know you're a little occupied. It's okay.
All right.
No worries, Queen. We'll give her a minute. Does anyone else have one that they want to share? Nicole, you can kind of do the first one and get us started, I guess.
All right. All right. So with my platform, I talk about opening up about suicide and our mental health. One of the things that I do, and one of the biggest questions I have is, what if I save a person's life?
Mm. Yeah, I'll say kind of on that note, a big thing for me that I kind of get a lot of not pushback, but questions on my social impact initiative is they're like, well, you're competing in a pageant, or you're competing, you're someone that people might say is pretty. Um, so how can you say that, when we are eating food, our looks about that don't matter? And I guess my biggest thing I can always say in return is I've had two grade students, third to fifth grade, come up to me, and I've been the first person they've told about their eating disorders. So it's not that looks don't matter. I think we can't live in a world where we say that they don't, because we live in a world where people that look a certain way have certain privileges, whether that is skin color, whether that is pretty privilege or thin privilege. Those things do exist, but we do also have to remember that that shouldn't be our main focus with food. And when it becomes our main focus, that's when you get a third grader coming to you and saying, well, I haven't been eating because I want to look like XYZ.
Oh my gosh. That
So
is
in the vein of what if I save someone's life, I think, okay, well, what if I hadn't been at school those 2 days and these two girls continued down the road of having eating disorders that started in third and fifth grade for them?
that's incredible. Oh my gosh.
Does anyone have anything else they want to share? It's all right if you don't. It's all good.
Awesome.
Goal setting and reflection. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday too. I think it's always important to go back and reflect on your goals and to schedule that time. Oh, Jenna says, something I always say is God has a plan, so true. I was moved to California for work 2 years ago and had to completely adapt to new work life. I also had to give up the title that I had just won in my home state. So ultimately it comes down to the mindset and knowing everything happens for a reason. And I totally agree with that. I mean,
I
you
think
never
so.
know what could happen now that you're in California, and maybe that sort of move and those experiences are exactly what you needed to win your state title. You never know. Just in kind of our realm and our mindset.
And
I'm
then wait,
starting a project called the Creation Station through my social impact initiative, Heart for the Arts. I want to build a national platform for my Creation Station, bring Creation Station to as many schools before the state, and get multiple partners/sponsors and grants through the program. Yeah,
oh,
that's really great. So thinking about, like, Nicole is saying, the things you can do, that's so important.
mhm.
Those are all awesome, you guys. Any more? If not, these are really great. You never know the impact you're going to have on someone and how it may change their life. You may never see the change, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't stop. That doesn't mean you should stop what you're doing. Very true. Yeah. Yeah, I think we also have to remember, as local title holders, the responsibilities that we have, because some people, I never met a Miss America title holder at all. So some people might never meet a Miss State. They might never meet a Miss America. And for them, you're the Miss America of their community and you're that important to them. So remembering the impact that you do have is really important. I love that.
I love that. Definitely needed to put that on there.
Yeah. Awesome. Those are really great ones, you guys. Great job.
Awesome.
I love this little activity, Nicole. Good job.
Thank you. I came up with it this morning. All right.
Here, I'll take a picture of it.
Oh, yes. Let me go back to that then.
Lovely. Great job.
Awesome. And then, so before I end my presentation, I have a few more pieces of advice to help you tackle 2021 and make it your best year yet. So ready? You have to make your why bigger than your goals. Make your reward stronger and bigger than your pain. Don't let defeat defeat you. And if you're going to fail at something, fail at it fast so you know what you need to work on. Get more information and then try again. If you pass in the beginning, set new goals. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. It really means a lot to me that you guys took time out of your day to be with me. And a special thank you to Karolyn for making this all happen. So get ready, make 2021 your best year yet. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I love this.
Thank you so much, Nicole. This
Thank
was so great. I
you.
just want to honor you and all of the work that you're doing. I'm so glad that you were able to be a part of this
Oh
and
my gosh,
you're
I'm so
doing
happy.
such
I reached out
amazing.
to you at the last minute.
It's okay. It's okay. I needed it. I needed the spot filled. So it was so helpful. Um, and I can't wait to see your journey on the Miss Main stage for the final time for you. I just can't wait to see how that turns out for you. I know you are going to be phenomenal and you have an amazing heart to share. So I can't wait to see that. For everyone else, I hope to see you at more of our sessions this weekend. You can still register for some of them, so be sure to join us. You can join the new Facebook group, the Self Care Kitchen, which will have more wellness resources for you throughout the rest of the year. And make sure you donate to the Food Trust and come to our final session on Sunday, tomorrow, so that you can be there for the raffle. And you can also hear a very exciting announcement that I have for you. Follow both of us on socials, tag us in anything that you do and reflect on from today. And I can't wait to see you all the rest of the weekend.